You like finishing this one?
I'm going to go for it. I would love, obviously, that'd be the best case scenario, get the finish. I can see it happening. I can see it blowing the roof off MSG, taking out pound for pound one, number one with no doubts. Finish should be the dream.
Do you believe he might be able to stop Islam going up to this weight class?
Stop him. Yeah, I mean, JDM's boxing and pressure that he can do, incredible. So I definitely can get a finish.
All right, favorite team?
Islam's great. Him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM.
Jack Della Maddalena has sent a chilling warning to Islam Makhachev, vowing to knock him out in their upcoming clash. At the open workout, Jack backed up his words by displaying sharp boxing, crisp combinations, and fluid striking that wowed fans. His precision and speed were on full display, making it clear he's entering this fight with confidence and dangerous form. Moreover, Jack Della Maddalena predicted that Islam Makhachev will lean heavily on his wrestling in the opening round at UFC 322. He believes the first 5 minutes will be dominated by grappling exchanges, noting that Belal Muhammad's failure to wrestle early against him proved costly. Jack made it clear he's preparing for that same kind of pressure from Makhachev.
Do you expect Islam to try and strike with you, or do you think that his game plan might try and take you down?
It's hard to expect anything. I definitely feel like he would test the feet. I think it's going to start on the feet, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I think he's going to try and mix it up. I think he's going to probably try and get on the wrestling early, I'd imagine. Looking back on the Belal fight, he probably sees that Belal's mistake was maybe not getting on the wrestling early. So yeah, I expect in the first round we'll get into some at least some grappling exchanges.
He's got to come up in weight. It's your weight class. Do you feel like that's going to slow him down a little bit?
It's hard to tell. Sometimes the weight cut will slow you down. So I expect the best Islam. I expect more filled out, stronger. I feel like it's going to be the best Islam Makhachev there's been. So yeah, I think the weight will probably be better for him.
Another pay-per-view here next year. You win this, good chance you headline that. Does that help as well with the motivation stakes?
Honestly, not really. I'm motivated. It's a big fight.
However, Jack Della Maddalena made it clear he plans to unleash everything against Islam Makhachev at UFC 322. His dream scenario? A brutal finish under the bright lights of Madison Square Garden, taking out the pound-for-pound king and sending shockwaves through the entire lightweight division.
You like finishing this one?
I'm going to go for it. I would love, obviously, that'd be the best case scenario, get the finish. I can see it happening. I can see it blowing the roof off MSG, taking out pound for pound one, number one with no doubts. Finish should be.
Furthermore, Curtis Blades admitted he hasn't seen enough of Jack Della Maddalena's fights to give a full judgment, having only watched the Australian's last 2 appearances. Still, he leaned toward Islam Makhachev, citing the champion's versatility in handling every style and his proven record of dominance at the very highest level.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of JDM. I haven't seen enough of his fights. I've seen his last 2, but I haven't seen enough. I'm still going to lean towards Islam just because I've seen him handle all issues, and he's had high levels of success.
Robert Whitaker expressed confidence that Jack Della Maddalena has the right tools to trouble Islam Makhachev, even while admitting his personal bias. He highlighted Jack's frame, underrated grappling, and unorthodox striking as weapons that could complicate the champion's usual game plan. Whitaker added that taking JDM down won't be easy, and his sharp boxing, punishing bodywork, and ability to land clean shots from awkward angles could pose serious problems.
Why does he beat Islam, in your opinion?
I'm biased as heck.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see the fight playing out very much like it did with Volk, okay? But Jack's bigger. Jack's he's a little bigger. He's got a different frame. He's a hard dude to try and hold down. And I think his jiu-jitsu is very underrated. He has good jiu-jitsu, which means it won't be free. The takedowns won't be free. Being on top of him won't be free. Not to mention, Jack has really good hands. And if he can keep it into that mid-range, into that distance that he likes, make it awkward. He's very good at not only punching straight lines, but punching up. So his hooks, his uppercuts, he mixes it really well. He works the body, which makes it harder to shoot on. I think there's enough angles there to give Islam.
Khabib Nurmagomedov also weighed in, suggesting that Jack Della Maddalena may be the toughest challenge Islam has ever faced. He pointed to Jack's size advantage over Ilia Topuria, his comparable skill set, and his dependable grappling as key reasons why he could truly trouble the champion. Khabib even admitted that if the choice were between preparing Islam for Topuria or Maddalena, the Australian would represent the far more difficult task.
Считаю, что Мадалена самый сложный соперник в Ислама карьере. Это мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов...
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Мадалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Но для меня, если я, например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Маддалены, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует.
Max Holloway urged fans not to overlook Jack Della Maddalena's threat level, stressing that many have failed to give him the respect he deserves despite holding the number 2 spot on the pound-for-pound list. Holloway noted that the potential clash, expected to take place in October, would be a high-level strategic battle guaranteed to thrill fans. He warned that JDM is far too skilled and dangerous to underestimate at this point in his career.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is going to find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So, I mean, he is, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason, so you got to respect that, but, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be
Gilbert Burns backed Makhachev's decision to move up in weight, noting that cutting down to 155 had become too draining. He praised Islam as one of the most talented fighters in the sport today, but admitted that Jack Della Maddalena would present serious challenges. Burns also pointed out Jack's access to elite training partners like Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski, which he believes could make the matchup even more competitive than many expect.
Islam's working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proving himself. He's number 1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear shot.
Muhammad Mokaev weighed in on a potential clash between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, stressing that timing will be crucial. He explained the fight would be far bigger if Islam captures the welterweight title while Topuria holds the lightweight belt, warning that booking it too soon could waste the chance for a true blockbuster.
For example, Islam fights Ilya and he beats him. Example, people say he beat another 145er, but Islam wins the title now at welterweight, and then Ilya beats Oliveira. That's even bigger fights to create, right? So I don't think Islam needs to slow down his career. He go take even they strip his belt off. In my opinion, he will be double champion, because that's how it started. If Conor could, why Islam can't, And I think it creates bigger name for them if this way better, rather than Islam fight Topuria and the hype slows down. You know what I mean? I'd rather see Islam becomes the champion, Ilia Topuria becomes the champion, and they can fight at catchweight for the, I don't know, whatever.
Ian Gary admitted it's tough to predict how Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena will unfold. While he praised Makhachev's all-around skill set, he pointed out that moving up in weight adds a layer of unpredictability. Gary noted that Jack is naturally bigger than Alexander Volkanovski, with sharp striking and solid takedown defense, making him a real threat even if Islam enters as the favorite.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist.
Israel Adesanya voiced confidence in JDM's chances, pointing to his size, power, and relentless pace in scrambles. He argued that Jack's aggressive pressure in striking exchanges and physical presence could wear Islam down over time, especially if the takedowns are stuffed and Makhachev is forced to trade on the feet.
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only sparred Della once, like not really hard crazy, but and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's
even watching him with Bilal as well, and Gilbert Burns, his scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, I'm standing with this guy, I have to take him down. Gets him down and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well, and he's solid. So I really
dense, man, just dense.
Dense, yeah. Like when I felt, like I said, we're sparring, and then it's just a weight behind it, and the way he throws it, the body banging, man.
Alexander Volkanovski echoed that sentiment, highlighting Jack's ability to stay active in striking exchanges even when opponents try to wrestle. He noted that JDM's growing confidence after beating strong grapplers leaves him well positioned to deal with the challenges Islam will bring.
What I love about Jack Della and what he did with Bilal is he will, you get people that are worried about the takedown, so like, and then they don't fight their fight on the feet. I'm gonna fight my fight and worry about the takedown when it's there.
Exactly.
And that's perfect. You need to be like that. For me, like with Islam, was like, I'm going to do my thing. Yeah, I'll be worried about it, but at the same time, find the shots to go in, boom, boom, boom. But I'll worry about the takedown when
later
there. But
on,
I'll still
once
commit
you
to
realize
things.
you can handle it, then you were just like, I can handle it.
And the confidence Jack Della is going to have now from getting through that, even though he's going to be confident. And then there's another one when you're successful with guys that are very dominant there. When you have the success there, then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now you end up even that much better at taking. And then he's going to do a lot. We're actually going to get a bit of training in and that as well. Like obviously he's going to do.
Over there.
Hey,
you going over there?
You'll probably come over here, or maybe we'll get we'll see. I might even go over there, whatever they want. I'm happy to do it.
Shah Ali called Islam versus Jack a high-level fight, but felt a future Makhachev versus Topuria clash would create even more hype. He credited Islam's win over Bilal Muhammad for building anticipation around the JDM matchup, adding that if Jack can stuff the takedowns and land clean shots, the fight becomes very dangerous.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Bilal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big belt, who gives him that?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilya versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even.
Charles Oliveira described Maddalena as a dangerous opponent because of his patient and calculated style. He recalled how Jack systematically broke down Bilal Muhammad, but predicted Islam would lean heavily on his wrestling. For Oliveira, the outcome depends on whether JDM can stuff the takedowns and consistently land meaningful shots.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo.
Philip, bro, what's cracking, man? Chilling. Hey, now listen, you're welterweight. You've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So
Right.
we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in a fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll.
It's so hard because you never know when people are changing weight classes. But in lightweight, you know, Islam looks like unbeatable. It's just like maybe the pound for pound best. It's just so insanely good. But can he do it in a weight class above? I'm not sure. Really, really hard to predict a fight like that. I think I still have to say Islam. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we need to see a few more fights with Jack. He looked amazing against Bilal, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's something about Islam.
So Islam versus JDM. I think they probably should be even, you know, because even though Islam is a good grappler, he's big for 155. He's moving to 170. We never know, you know. I think he needs to take some time to work on to gain weight, to gain power, you know, to gain strength. So that's why the odds are even, and I think they should.